Hello everybody, this is Laya from Play3r. So today we have a little bit of a how-to guide on Witch Doctor in Diablo 3. So as you all probably know, the new expansion is coming out. It's just around the corner. I think it's like 2.5 days something left until it releases, and I'm so excited. So I have some builds here that I'm going to show you today and tomorrow as well. That are really good builds right now for these classes. So two of the builds are on Witch Doctor, and one is on Barbarian, and the other one is on Wizard. Wizard, exactly. So let's start with the Witch Doctor. This is the first build. It's ranked, as far as I know, as one of the better builds for Witch Doctor right now, and it's pretty good. So I want to cover a lot of stuff about that, but before we get into the build, I want to explain a little bit about how you should think about while playing the Witch Doctor compared to, for example, the Wizard. So the Witch Doctor is a more of a survival race than a Wizard. It's kind of hard for me to explain it, but it's kind of like you do not have, even though I have 209 DPS, I have more DPS than my Wizard has. My Wizard has around 170, I think. I still do not do more damage than my Wizard does, because Wizard spells are way stronger in every sense or purpose that there is. It's just that way it is. It's way higher, way higher damage output. But Wizard has all the pets and all the survivability that the Wizard doesn't have. So that's the reason why I have such a low toughness. 400 is really low, but I have really high res because of the intellect, which we get into more later when we get to the build. But I don't need more than 400 toughness because I have so many survivability spells. I have all my pets and I have my spirit walk, and I just have a hard time dying. I don't have that much HP because I don't need it. So you don't have to focus or worry about stuff like that with helping spells to keep you alive like the Wizard does, and other stuff like that. You can just get a build, decide on what you want to do, and then you just go with it, because you know that you won't die. It's kind of hard to die with a Witch Doctor. It is kind of hard. So if we're looking for periodic damage, damage over a long time, then Witch Doctor is the one you want, I would say, because you have a really good survivability, as I said before, and you have periodic damage. So it takes a while until your damage ramp up, but you have more damage than Witch Doctor in the long run. Witch Doctor has a really high burst. But it's really cool. So let's talk a little bit more about the build itself. We're gonna start with checking out the gear. So at this build, because they've changed the crit to decrease the crit a lot, I don't have that much crit chance or crit hit damage. This doesn't matter too much. You could add area damage later, but again, I get that. I'll talk more about that when I get to Paragon. You can see that I have movement speed 24 is always 100%. So always speed 24 or 25 movement speed. That's always important. Life steal or actually life per hit. Life steal is not as good anymore, so life per hit. You want, of course, have a lot of life per hit. 2k is good enough for me apparently. So there's not much else to say around here. I get more to that later, but let's check out the gear. So I have a lot of old gear because I haven't found any new ones to replace the ones I already have. But this is an old legacy now. Now a legacy Manayuma's carving knife, but it's pretty good. It was kind of, I think it was 50 million or something I bought this one for. This one is also pretty decent. I could probably replace it one pretty fast. Finger Deep, of course. It's really nice with that increased golden health pickup radius. It's amazing. Asumasa's Pox. This one is not that good, so I'm looking forward to replace this one. It's decent, but it's I know there's better out there. I just haven't found one that is better. These same thing as these. The gems are good, but it's not it's not a good one. It's so hard to get replace this one. But as you can see, my gear is decent. It's good. That's a new ring, the new Unity. That one is pretty good. Witching Hour, You know, if you played Diablo before, you know Witching Hour. Also real hard to replace because it's so good. Oh, excuse me. And this one, that's a crafted, I believe. No, wait, that's not a... Yeah, that's a crafted. Yeah, it is. We should do with the Archon... Archon... Or Razor Spike. Hiccups. Razor Spike Braces of Intellect, I think they're called. You can buy them in Act 2 from the little girl in the city. For like 2 million, I think. Pretty bad neck. I can replace that one probably. The only bad thing, I mean, the only annoying thing about this neck is it has really low intellect, but it has a lot of crit. So the crit damage is going to be hard to replace. But yeah, that's going to be really tricky for me. Shoulders, same thing there, crafted. Some good stuff. Got a lot of intellect, that's pretty good. Then we have St. Arthur's Gauge. You can see it's pretty good. When there's 5 or more enemies within 12 yards, I get a Sobin Shield. I get 20% of my maximum life for 6 seconds. Of course, having more health with this is, of course, better. But as I said before, this one is not perfect for me. I only use it mostly because of the stats and all the resistance and the vitality and intellect. Because the I don't need to have that much health, like I said before, because I'm just, you know, I have so many minions and be so secured. We have a Tarasha, an old Tarasha. Again, really hard to replace because of the 58, the 3 sockets with the 58 intelligence. But now here comes the funny part. My helmet. Wizard of Gauda. Look at the secondary. Summon a fetish army after you kill 2 elites. So as soon as I got this mask, I had to replace it. I have a Andalus Visage that is way better than this one, but I just had to play with this one because it's just amazing. It's a shame that I don't use Acid Cloud because I get 11% more damage, but I don't feel that I need it. I only want this one because of the intellect, the resistance, mana regen, and of course the 2 secondaries are pretty good. But this one is perfect for this build. So I'm really happy that I found this one. I was really lucky. And it's also, if you look at it, it's also pretty damn cool. It's one of the coolest wood helmets I found, at least. So let's look at the build, not guild. So this is so-called fetish sycophants, or however you pronounce it. And when you cast a physical realm spell, you have a 5% chance of having a dagger wielding fetish. So this one, together with this one, is really nice. There's a lot of fetishes. Yeah, I don't know, sycophants. So I can get, I think 9 is the highest I've had so far. So on the first we use fire bats with vampire bats because it doesn't cost any shelling anymore, so we don't have any mana problems because this will be mostly our main spell. And as a secondary we have Locust Swarm with Pestilence because it's pretty good. We can change this one to wherever we want, but it's good to have one spell that costs extra mana. And this one is pretty nice because you just run around, shoot that one, and then you do a lot of fire bats, and you just, you know, basically let your pets do the work. But you want to start with fire bats to get the sycophants out. But you can pretty much play around with the right click one. You can have any other high mana cost, like I could for example use the Acid Cloud because I have 11% damage on it. Spirit Walk with Honored Guest. So in case you have low on mana, it's really good to have Spirit Walk. Of course you're gonna need Spirit Walk, but Honored Guest is pretty good for that purpose because you get that extra mana when you activate it. You can have Yaunt if you want to, so you can run longer because Yaunt is really good because you want to use Spirit Walk to run into enemies, and it's actually going to change it to Yaunt. So you want to run with Spirit Walk into the big pile of enemies and start spamming your vampire bats so you get all the sycophants, then run out. And they will do the job for you, and then you can do a Pestilence afterwards. Gargantua with Humangoid, because this one is pretty good, with Cleave. You can have it as Big Stinker if you want to, or a Restless Giant. They're pretty good as well, so you can play around with this. But I would recommend Humangoid or Restless Giant. Then we have Zombie Dogs with Leeching Beast. So they heal you for 100% of your life on hit, every attack. I don't have that much life on hit, I think. 332, so that's okay. I mean, it keeps me alive. I will look to get more of that. And we have Big Bad Voodoo, which slam dance. So it increases the damage of all my allies and my pets. So my pets and all the people in my game will get the bonus from this, which is really good. 30% increase from all my minions, my Gargantua, my zombie dogs, and all my 9 sycophants. That's a lot of damage output. Plus I can do vampire bats and pestilence. So you can understand kind of why this build is pretty cool. And we want to play with these 3 passive skills. Grieving Justice because we gain 1% of maximum mana and life. And we reduce the cooldown of all the skills by 1 second when we kill something. This is really important spell because we're gonna need to use Speed Walk a lot to get in, like I said before, get into the big mob of monsters and do our vampire bats to summon more fetish. And of course we want to have fetish sycophants. And here you can see the list here, of course, with all the spells that summons this passive. So you can play around with these. And of course Pierce the Veil, because we don't really need that much mana. And if you do get low mana, you can always use on a guest. So it's okay. And that's pretty much it about the build. So again, let's look over here. So I realized that with this build I don't need maximum mana. It's pretty cool. I have maximum movement speed or almost maximum movement speed, so I don't need that either. So I've put it on intellect because I wanted more damage. I still have 862 mana, so that's pretty cool. And I have more attack speed, so it gets better. So I attack faster, less delays. I don't need cooldown reduction or anything of these because I don't really have. I only have 1 spell really that has a big cooldown, and that's why I use the what's it called again? The Grieving Justice. Oh, there we go. And of course I put this on life. I have all the resist that I need, and I don't feel that I need more toughness. So life was the obvious choice for me, because that's the only thing I'm liking. I could put it on life regen, but then again, I think I'm fine actually. You might play around with this if you want to, but life seems be the best one right now. On agility, I have restores cost reduction, so I should probably change this one to life on hit, because I don't think I need this one, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, because this one still is pretty expensive, and that's the only spell I had that is expensive, pretty much. So yeah, I should probably change this one to life on hit or area damage. So it's better for my zombie dogs with legion beasts, so they give me more health back. So now I have life per hit 689. So that's pretty much it. Make sure you have basically intellect, a lot of intellect for my damage, attack speed. You can have cooldown reduction if you want to, but again, it's not that important. Attack speed is the obvious choice here for me. Life, if you don't have resist, I mean at least 600 resistance, you should put on resist all, and maybe even armor. But if you have that, if you have 600 more life, resistance, then you put on life. Same thing on this one. You can put on if you have low life on hit, you can put it on that or area damage. But I think life on hit is better. You gain more from that in the long run. So let's go ahead and summon the beasts, and let's go try it out. Lightning Shrine. So they do actually kind of decent damage, as you can see. This is only Torment 1 just for testing, but this build works fine on Torment 2 and 3 and pretty much at 4 as well. So I really want to do is just get in there and just spam it. As you can see now I have a lot of minions already. And because I have this many minions, I will never get hit. And if I do get hit, I can always use Spirit Walk to get out of danger. So now I can just basically do my Yaunt and then stand in the pile and just spam Vampire Bats and everything will die around me, and I will summon a lot of stuff. When it comes to Elite, it's going to be a little bit tricky. But I want to use the what do you call it? The Slam Dance, because when they stand inside the aura, they do a lot more damage. So that's really good. Of course, you want, because you have pretty low toughness, you will need to be careful with the Arcane Enchanted minions. But again, as you can see, there's no problem as long as you juke or hide from or move away from the Arcane Enchanted. It's really no problem. And if you do get low, you can just use your Spirit Walk and you're fine. And as you can see, I really don't need that much mana. I do have quite a lot of regen. I have this one on 100 guest if I need to. But they do all the work for me. So you really just have to run in and do some spells, some vampire bats, to make sure that they summon these fetish sycophants. And they will do the rest of the job. Do pestilence even now and then, because it does a lot of damage. And then you're good to go. There you go. And now we just stand here and wait for the loot. Because they will never die. There you go. So, I like this build. It's very nice. It's a lot of fun. But this is pretty much how Witch Doctor work. You can't be like a wizard where you run in and just frozen over everybody and they all die around you in big terrible explosions. You have to be kind of the passive one. And just use your minions, let them do the bidding for you. There you go. So, this is pretty much what it's all about in this build. There's nothing really much to it besides this. Gear wise, it's just life on hit. It's always good to have. If you're using Legion Beach, you want to stack that a lot. I guess that's kind of important to have, so when you do get hit, because of low, if you have a low toughness, it's still fine. Because with your vampire bats, you will regen a lot of health, and your summer dogs will regen a lot of health as well for you. Then you can find a bigger pile of monsters somewhere. They die too easy though. It's only torment 1. The only thing I want them to add is to write up this fetish psychopaths up here, because it's hard to tell how many you have right now. It looks like I have a lot of minions if you look on the yellow dots on the map. I mean, pink, I guess, or purple, whatever color that is. But it's hard to tell. It looks like I have 3 right now. But it would be nice to know. So that's something I wish they implement to the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to know about this build. There's really no problem in anything. I barely die with this build. It's very funny actually to watch them all just fight each other like a big brawl. So, I'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching this video. If it helped you, then please do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Write a comment if you have any questions. And also check out this surprise video down below for more player videos.